Creativity is a function of our spirit. It's a function of what I believe our spirit is here to do, create. But it's incumbent upon all of us to understand what we're here to create and to take the space to figure that out. Taking the space to figure that out comes with solitude. Taking the space to figure that out comes with having discernment about who needs to be allowed into your environment for you to learn what you're supposed to learn in order to create what you're meant to create. Your creativity is rooted in you understanding the why behind your existence, because we all have a why behind our existence. And at the core, I believe it's rooted in creation. Creation is timeless. Creation is a part of every aspect of our lives. In our interpersonal relationships, we're creating bonds. With our families and loved ones, we are creating memories. We're creating children. We're creating businesses. We're creating ideas that push the story of creation further. This isn't just about the story of humanity. This is about the story of creation, because all beings have the ability to create. Trees create oxygen. They create serene environments for us to enjoy. Animals create balance. Creation is all around us. It's a function of life. It's a function of our existence. And we have to really understand that if we're meant, or if we're going to create what we are meant to create, we have to push past the fear that comes along with the vulnerability of creation. Because to be creative is to be vulnerable. It's to put what is deep in your heart, what is deep in your spirit, and to place it out into the world for the world to engage with it. And sometimes that engagement is extremely positive, but sometimes that engagement is extremely negative. And you're looking at the thing that you've created and you want to protect it. But creation isn't always meant to be protected. It's sometimes meant to allowed to be free, to take roots in the minds and in the hearts of people as they see fit. We want to protect the things that we create, but we can't always do so. Look at our children. People who make the decision to be parents create life. One of the scariest things to create, you have the responsibility for the future of another being. In a world that has both beauty and pain, has fears, challenges, rewards, successes, all of those things for that child to experience. And it can be scary. It can be scary to create. But it's also empowering to create, and especially when you understand what you are meant to create, because that gives that sense of purpose. And your creativity is rooted in your sense of purpose, which is the why behind you, the why behind your existence. But exploring and finding that sense of purpose can be challenging, because we all think that we're just going to happen upon the why behind us. Oh, my purpose will come to me. But sometimes purpose comes through rigorous meditation. Purpose comes through experience. Purpose comes through experimenting with the things that give your heart energy, with the things that give you vibrance, with the things that don't give you vibrance. Purpose can sometimes be found in those things you look at and you say, I never want to experience that again, and I never want anybody else to experience that. So I am going to be purposeful in creating something that eradicates that experience from the human story or from the story of creation. Most of what we're doing is experimenting. We don't know what we're doing. We just put one foot in front of the other and we try what works. We try what doesn't. And we stick with the thing that continues to reward us. But trying is the first part. Experimenting is the first part. And I like using the word experimenting because it takes some of the pressure off of feeling like you have to know everything. You don't and won't know everything. Nobody knows everything. Most of the people who have created great things had a feeling that guided them. They didn't know. They didn't know everything that they were going to do, every person they were going to meet. But I'll correct it, that knowing honestly came from a feeling. It was more of a feeling. And when we start to connect with our feelings and allowing our feelings to guide us, it helps us to get closer to what we're meant to create. So if you're meant to be an empowering spirit, or if you're meant to create safe spaces, if you're meant to create loving energy, then you are going to have to start walking in that energy. You're going to have to start talking in that energy. You're going to have to start being in that energy at every step of the way, so that everything that you represent in this world represents that feeling, represents what you are meant to create. You look at musicians who spend their lives pouring their energy into their music because it creates a reaction in those around them that give them life. It serves a broader purpose of creation. Creation is a gift and it's so powerful, but no one's going to give you what you're meant to be here to create. You're going to have to take it. Power is not given, it's taken. You are going to have to sit with yourself long enough to take the idea of what you are meant to create, to walk in the idea that you are meant to create something, and that your walk in life, even if you don't know what it is at this point, is to find that thing. And once you find that thing, you are meant to continue to nurture it, to grow it. But in finding that thing, you're truly just finding yourself. When I sit with teams to talk about team development, I often focus on individual development first, because individuals make up teams. When people feel like their presence in a team, in a group, taps into the core of who they are, and they are there fulfilling a purpose with people that energize them, they show up for life differently. even in instances where the people around them may not be people that they like, because they have a deeper understanding of why they're there. It energizes them. They can move past disagreements because they understand their greater purpose. Your life is about you. The other person's life is about them. So you have to move in such a way that you don't allow other people's stories to sway you from your purpose, to knock you off your square. It doesn't mean that you don't step out of environments that aren't conducive for your growth. It means that once you enter into an environment and you've experimented with what is in that environment to determine whether or not it is in alignment, you make your decisions from there. Because anything that is not in alignment with what you are here to create does not need to be in your environment. You do not need to be venturing into spaces that are not in alignment with what you are here to create, because it is a disservice to your higher purpose. It is time to stop playing with our lives and with ourselves by placing ourselves around people and in places and engaging with things that are not conducive to our well-being. I don't play with people in their lives and the things that they say that they want to accomplish, because it's serious, because we only get one life. But we operate in life as if we can just play. We play with it. And I'm not saying that we're not meant to have experiences, because we are. It's those experiences that ultimately allow us to shape ourselves and to gain understanding and to gain wisdom. But once you've gained what you need to gain from a situation, pour it into your creativity, pour it into what you're meant to create. Because you can get lost in those side detours. If you know that you're here to create a loving environment and you experience an environment that is not loving, you're meant to experience it, but you aren't meant to stay there. You're meant to take the lesson from that environment and to apply it to what you're here to create, that is surrounding what a loving environment should look like. If you are here to create safe spaces and you found yourself through your experience in environments that aren't safe, it's for you to take from those experiences and those experiments that you've conducted to say, oh, well, what if I apply this in this space? Does it make it safe? Does it not? Well, what if I remove this from certain spaces? How does that impact what I am here to create? And that's what this is about. This is about you having the courage to tap into your creativity. And I say your creativity because there's too much, not distraction, but there's too much envy of other people's creativity. Looking at what other people are creating and envying it. Being jealous of what other people are creating. That serves nothing more than a distraction. And it means and can be a signal that you haven't taken the time to sit in solitude to discover yourself. So now is your time. Now is the time where you create space for yourself. If you feel like you're meant to create something and you've experienced a blockage, whether it be in your career, whether it be in your finances, whether it be in your friendships, whether it be in your family, if you are meant to create something in any space of your life and you feel like there is a blockage, create space so that you can first understand what is causing the blockage. If your leg is hurting, you don't just keep walking on it. You sit down. You allow it to heal. You give it time to heal. The same for your spirit, your mind. If you feel like what you are trying to create is experiencing a blockage, create space for yourself. Because every time that you come back to self is a time of empowerment. Because you can begin to listen to the inner voice that's telling you what you need to remove in order to get to the next level. I've had multiple periods of my life where when I chose to be in solitude, God gave me the revelation of what I needed to remove in order to get to the next level, whether it be in my career or otherwise. And I continue to infuse spirit in these conversations and God in these conversations, because you cannot remove your spirit or God from any conversation about any area of your life. When you go to work, your spirit is with you. God is with you. When you go to your family, your friends, when you're out at the bar, God is with you. Your spirit is with you. You cannot escape those things, no matter how much you think that you can. And so the spiritual connection is extremely important because it's at the core of us understanding who we are, what our purpose is, and what we're meant to create while we're here. So I continue to infuse this into the discussions because it's an important point. We try to divorce the two. We try to divorce our spirit, the core of who we are, from our work, from our families, but it's all one thing. And when you sit with yourself long enough, you'll develop that understanding. And that understanding will help to empower you to understand that God is always with you. God is sitting there. God is watching every move that you are making. And so if you are not exercising the creativity that God has given to you, it's not, you aren't fooling anyone. And I don't say that to shame or to scare anybody into taking action. I say that to empower you, because if you believe that God is with you, then you know that you already have everything that you need to succeed in every area of your life. It's just incumbent upon you to make the choice, and God is waiting for you to just make the choice, to be creative, to tap into your purpose, to be who you're meant to be. So go be it.